Here's a question. How do you steam milk with an espresso machine that can create latte art and has great silky smooth texture? Well, today I'm gonna teach you how to do that, how to steam your milk in a few easy steps, and at the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to steam like a barista. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you a hack to create colored lattes that are perfect to practice with. Roll the intro. Hi, my name is Kyle and welcome back. We're gonna dive right into this how to steam milk to create great microfoam and better lattes. Step number one is get cold whole milk. Whole milk is important here. You can use alternative milks, but they can be hard to create a beautiful texture with. Low fat milk is also less forgiving than whole milk, so get that whole milk. You'll be glad that you did. Step number two, purge that wand. Make sure you get rid of any moisture inside that wand before you start steaming your milk. This is really very important. Step number three is position that pitcher. Now this is very important, take your time on this, but be sure that the pitcher is not right in the center of that wand. You actually wanna have it off axis so that it can create a vortex. You wanna be spinning that milk, otherwise you'll get separation in the milk and you'll have foam on the top and liquid on the bottom, but if you have that vortex, it really creates the best micro foam possible. So as you can see here, just off center to be able to create that vortex. You don't want it hugging the pitcher wall, but you also don't want it in the center of the pitcher. You almost kind of want to have it a third of the way of the wand. Also, be sure to take note of the tip of the wand. You want to make sure it's about 1/2 to 2/3 under the milk and the rest of it is exposed. What this does is create something called aeration, and it's adding the air into your milk. This is very important because this works in partnership with that vortex to create microfoam, that beautiful silky texture we talked about earlier in this video. If you're not sure if the milk is being aerated enough, you're listening for that very, very classic sound. You've heard it in a cafe before. It sounds like this. And when you hear that noise, you know that you're aerating right. A little tip for you is to use the pitcher spout to actually position both the tip and the wand. It'll help you out just with consistency and repeatability in steaming milk. Step number four is turn that steam on. Turn it on all the way, not halfway. Go all in. When you do, you should hear a screech and see that vortex. And ensure that wand is submerged before you turn that steam back on. Purge the wand, then turn it off. Submerge the wand, then turn it back on. Do not, I repeat, do not turn on the steam before submerging it. Now, if you turn on your steam and you hear nothing, it's probably too submerged. So pull that pitcher down a bit until you start hearing that ripping noise. You wanna almost simulate like a tear of paper. So you don't wanna see big bubbles. If you see big bubbles, then it's probably too much and you need to submerge it a little bit more. You gotta find that sweet spot. And again, this will come with practice, but don't aerate too much. You'll create big bubbles, and don't submerge it too much. You just won't create foam at all. Don't worry, just keep practicing, and I'll give you a hack on how to practice in just one sec. Now, how do you know when the milk is finished? And this is a question I get all the time. I simply hold one hand on the bottom of the pitcher, and I use that to tell the temperature of the milk. But what I often say is when it gets too hot to touch, turn off the steam before that happens, because it will continue to heat your milk after you turn off the steam wand. That wand is still scorching hot, so turn it off before you get to that point. Often I find if you turn it off once it's too hot, you're probably gonna burn your milk. And if you do that, it will remove some of the sweetness in the milk and the texture just won't be great. So you don't wanna burn your milk. Hold your hand on the bottom of the pitcher, and when it starts getting too hot to touch or just getting to that point, turn off the steam. Now here's a very important rule that you can apply to life, but it will make your machine last for so long. Always wipe your wand. Now, if you want to practice this, but you don't want to break the bank, I get it. Coffee's expensive and nobody wants to be wasteful. Here's one tip I'll give to you that actually looks great and is Instagram worthy as you're practicing steaming milk. Put some water in your pitcher and add a little bit of dish soap to it. Once you start steaming that, it'll create a very similar texture to that of milk. Add a little bit of food coloring to a little bit of milk and put it in your favorite mug that you want to practice latte art in. Then take either the soapy water that I just described or use regular milk and steam it and practice your steaming technique, and then practice your latte art over this colored milk beverage. That colored milk will simulate espresso, and you can recycle it by replacing that fake espresso shot with more food coloring. And it's an easy way to get better at latte art and steaming your milk with a recyclable, more affordable way than wasting coffee and tons of milk. If you want to trip out all your friends on colored lattes, post it on Instagram, tag me, and see what the reaction is to these colored lattes. But practice makes perfect, so make sure you're practicing, if it's with real coffee or the soapy practice hack. It took me months to perfect steaming milk, but be sure to tamp that like button and purge that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video at all or it helped in any way. If you have any questions about anything in this video, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to learn more about espresso techniques, click this video right here. In the meantime, continue to brew great coffee and continue to brew at home. Peace. We'll see you next time.